increase in the number of families who need our services. We've seen a decrease in families who are being evicted because there are eviction bans going on right now. But when those bans lift, we expect a surge of families who need our help. We also have seen families who have been living week to week, paying their own way in a hotel, reach out to us for services in a way that we've never seen before. So they've been unable to keep their jobs, or they're not able to work because their kids are out of school, and so they can't pay that week-to-week fee. So what we've been doing is helping keep those families stable where they are in their hotels and paying their way until we could get them consolidated into a hotel that we're managing. So right now our shelter is full and we're overflowing into a hotel where we will provide staff and security and support to families who need us during this crisis. In order to keep our staff and families safe, we've taken a lot of precautions at Family Gateway. Some of those include a deep 360 Clorox treatment at each facility. We're providing protective equipment to our team members and to our families. We have stopped our services in the big common areas in our shelter, and so instead of dining together in a big congregate style, families are eating in their rooms in our dormitory style shelter and are restricted to their rooms unless they have a specific reason to come out of that room, and when they come out, they're wearing a mask. We have stopped all volunteer services. We have sent every person we can to work from home if they can, so that we have just the absolute necessary staff in place in the shelter. At the Resource Center, where we do our 24/7 call center service and assessments and try to divert families from shelter and help them with different solutions, we've turned our answering service on 24/7 so that we can minimize the staff that we need on site. We're trying to do as many assessments over the phone as possible, and we're trying to keep families from moving from place to place. So if there's a way to assess them, determine that there's no way to avoid a shelter, and determine that they need to go into our hotel, we try to do that whole thing over the phone and then get them to the hotel so that they can be safe. For case management services for our housing program, we're trying to do as much of that as we can, again, remotely. So our case managers are checking in with their families. Instead of doing home visits, they're checking in with them over video conference or over the telephone. We continue to try to move families out of shelter and hotels into housing. That's slowed down a little bit because not every apartment complex right now is fully staffed up, but we're continuing that process of getting families out of shelter and into their own housing so that they can stay safe. At Family Gateway, we've been able to continue to increase our service delivery rather than scale it back. And by that I mean some family serving shelters have stopped taking in new families or are full and are essentially locking down. What we're trying to do is continue to move our families out of shelter and into housing so that we can open up more capacity in our shelter. When that wasn't enough, we overflowed into hotels across the community. And right now we're in the process of consolidating and bringing those families into one common site so that we can provide staffing and security and help families stay in place. So in the months to come, we believe that more and more families will become destabilized, particularly when bans on evictions have been lifted. Our city has done a beautiful job recently of putting in place some tools and resources for both landlords and tenants so that when eviction bans lift, there's a time for families to recover. We don't think that will be sufficient for every family. We know that there will be a broad need across our community for more and more eviction prevention resources. So we're trying to find ways to scale up in our service delivery for that. It will require more resources for sure. There are not enough shelter rooms in our community already, and so we cannot shelter our way out of that crisis. We're going to have to figure out ways to keep families stabilized where they are. So a lot of people are asking us right now how they can help, and so here's some easy ways. On our website at www.familygateway.org, you'll find a way to donate. You can make a recurring donation on that website on your credit card if you like. You can go to our wish list, our Amazon wish list. There are items in there that we need for shelter. There are items that families need to move into housing. You can go to that wish list and pick items that you'd like, and those can get shipped directly to our shelter so that you don't have to come and see us. We'd also appreciate if you would go to our website and look for the link where you can send a message to our first line responders who are in the trenches helping families experiencing homelessness in our shelter and trying to help families in our hotel setting. They need your encouragement right now.